This month's paper pumpkin tutorial is titled The Adventure Begins. It's the July 2021, and I am Grace Belfons with Crafting Gracefully. So this is the typical kit box that you'll get in the mail. We'll open it up and we'll see what is inside. So the first thing that you'll see is advertising for August kit, which is called Hope Box. It's going to be a fun designed box. I'll see if you can see it without the shadow. I just love this ombre part, but the box is going to be especially designed to be created into a hope box, which is a box that you can fill with tiny mementos or things that just give you hope and bring you joy. You can either keep it as like a keepsake box, or you can fill it with something and give it to a friend for a keepsake box. So that should be fun with that. You'll just have to subscribe by August 10th if you would like the Hope box. I'll have a link in the description of this video once we're done for that. And here are the 3 cards we'll be making today. These are such fun cards. Once I saw this kit, I was really excited for it because it just screams northern Minnesota to me. So, and I just love lanterns and these kind of scenes. So these are the 3 cards we'll be making. Your box also comes with instructions, but you don't really need that because you have me. So win-win. Hopefully it's a win-win. Here is our stamp set. It has a tree, the needles, little butterfly, firefly things. Not quite sure what they are. They look like butterflies, but on the cards they remind me of fireflies, so we'll see. And then we've got several sentiments that say, let your light shine, explore, congrats, dream big, aim high, let the adventure begin, the world awaits you. So fun. All right, so we're just going to get that off to the side. I'm gonna bring in my very dirty Stampin' Pierce mat. It's well loved, it's well used. It's one of my items that if you are gonna become a paper pumpkin customer or subscriber, I highly suggest getting a Stampin' Pierce mat. Every kit comes cellophane wrapped, and there's a thicker piece of cardboard that you can definitely use instead of this. It's just when you use the photopolymer stamp set, it gives you that little bit of cushion and evenness to get the best stamped image possible. And we've got our little baggie of goodies. So we have selfed back adhesive sequins. They're very pretty. They remind me of the Artisan Blooms sequins that we have in our annual catalog. I just love them. And then we'll be using the dimensionals and the glue dots, which I tend not to use if I don't have to. All right. And then this month's color is Garden Green. It's very pretty. And we'll just grab all the pieces. I have 2 of everything. One is going to be left over. I just pulled them out because, mistakes happen. Yes, even I make mistakes while stamping. It happens all the time, more than I care to admit. These are the 4 items we'll be stamping besides this card base. So here's how the card bases come out. They're tri-folds, so we'll fold one side in, but here's one, and then you get, so it's a really long sheet of paper, which is kind of fun. You can write a very nice message for someone who is starting their next adventure. So I'm just going to quickly fold this one in because we'll be stamping on this one as well. We'll be stamping right here, right there, and right there. And we'll actually stamp on this one first just because I have it in my hands, and then we'll set it off to the side. So the first thing we will need is, just trying to get things organized so nothing falls off. I got my chamois off to the side so I can clean as we go. We'll need the big butterfly first, and we'll put that on our block. And my block is very, very dirty. I've yet to clean it. Normally I've been pretty good about that, but summer. So we're just going to ink up our butterfly, and press it on down, and there we go. Summer, normally I'm pretty good about cleaning my stamps, but summer, I kind of want to get out of my craft room really quickly when I start to freeze, so I just kind of leave it for next time, and then next time, of course, I have something else I want to make, so that doesn't always happen either. All right, there we go. And while I'm cleaning this, I will be giving away these cards again, so if, like always, if you like the video, comment on the video, or share the video, your name's entered into the drawing. If you share the video, though, most of you, if you're not my personal friend on Facebook, it does not tell me that you shared it. It just shows that it's been shared. So if you're not personally friends with me, please tell me that you shared, because otherwise it does not tell me who actually shared the video. Great. So the next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to stamp our trees. So we're going to put the needles on our pine trees here, and we're going to stamp this one first just because it's easier to make sure that you don't have any ink on the bottom if you stamp it first. So I'm going to take my ink spot and I'm going to hold my block, and I'm going to try to do this at an angle so you can see what I'm doing. I'm right here where this really big indentation is kind of a natural break in where the tree separates, so you'll get that nice even bottom part of the tree where you don't really want the needle so much on the trunk. I hold it at an angle, use the tip, and just press it. Hopefully you can kind of see. Just ink up that half of the spot. If you're not confident in just making sure that you are only going to touch that area, you can always mask it off with a piece of tape and just tape over it, ink it up, and then pull the tape off before you stamp. So there you can kind of see, hopefully on the side, where it's inked. And we're going to line it up. And it's not going to line up perfectly, that's the artistic side of it. It's just, I mean, no two trees are going to be needled the same, just like no two stamped trees are going to be needled the same. So that one looks pretty good. We'll put that one up, and now we'll just ink the whole tree since we are going to move on to the next tree. If you're making all of your cards at once, you'll ink up just that half and stamp them all at once. But since we are just making one on this video, I'm only going to do it once. Alright, there we go. Kind of put that on and peel it back, and there we go. We got our tree needled. I don't even know if that's the correct term for these. I'm not a plant person. Pine is like the only tree I know, maybe maple, a birch. I know what a birch tree is, that's about it. Alright, and the next thing we're going to stamp is our circle, and that is going to say, let your light shine. So I'm going to quickly clean off my block because I noticed I got some green on there. And we're going to ink up the stamp. We're going to make sure it's very well inked just because these are pretty thick letters, and as close to the middle as possible. We'll hold it down. The one thing I love about circles is it doesn't matter if you're lining it up straight or not, because you can always rotate it and it's still going to be a circle no matter which way you rotate it. So we let that absorb and get that perfectly stamped. Oh, that is so thick. Just look at this font. I'm in love with this font. Do you like it too? It's so fun. Okay, so there is that one. Our next one we are going to stamp is Dream Big, Aim High. This one will have to go onto this block at an angle because I think it's just a little too big. So when I have the longer sentiments, I like to just flop them down on my work surface with the stamp side down, and then that way I can connect it to my block. a lot easier, and I know it's straight. Sometimes with the photopolymer, when you just lay it on there, the end can get a little kind of kittywampus, I guess you could say, or curve a little, if that's probably a better word to say is curve. Kittywampus. Oh, okay. Anyway. So we're going to ink up our sentiment. Just keep lightly tap, 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 tap down till you feel like you have enough. And dream big, aim high. And we're just going to center this as best as we can. And hold it down to let it really absorb and cover all the surface area of these letters. There we go. Dream big, aim high. There's another quote that it reminds me of is like, what is it? Shoot for the stars or the moon, and even if you land, you'll, or wait, aim for the moon and you'll still land amongst the stars or something like that. I don't know. That's what that little dream big, aim high kind of reminds me of. And then our last thing we are stamping is let the adventure begin. Same, ooh, whoopsies. That one went all over the place. Same thing. We're going to lay it down so the stamp side is on our base and the side that will connect to our block is up. Let that go. This one you probably could fit on your block that way. Sometimes I just feel like I have a little bit more control over the block when it's at an angle. Alright. Just tap, 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 ink it on up. And then this one needs to be this way, I believe. Yep. So you want the banner to be on the left-hand side. Oop, and got a little separated there. So towards the center or more to the left. We'll hold it down. There we go. All right. And now our stamping is done. So give me a second and I'm gonna cover things up so I don't make a mess of them. Okay. Those are off to the side. And we're done with this part, so we'll even just put our Stampin' mat off to the side. Clear things out. And now we're gonna fold and crease and take out the cutout. So we'll pop these out around. You'll want to be careful not to just yank them out because you might yank off something that needs to stay. But we'll go around the lantern light and then pop this circle portion off. Another thing, normally I don't save paper like this, but if you ever want to practice stamping, this is a good one. Or even if you flip it over, you can potentially get a sentiment out of here, and then you can cut it out and kind of mirror the corners, and just round off the corners when you cut it out. And it kind of makes, just to be a little bit more resourceful if you don't want to waste a full sheet of paper or are limited to scrap paper. All right, so we'll just assemble it as we go, since this one is a pretty easy card. It is Let Your Light Shine, and I'm going to take 2 dimensionals and I'm just going to put them right on the bottom. I'm going to connect them with the base just because this is going to hang over, and I'd rather know that I don't accidentally put them wrong up here and then it gets stuck to this page, because you still want the card to open. So we'll just connect those, or connect those to the card base. And then this sentiment, Let Your Light Shine, we're just going to kind of put off at an angle. It doesn't have to be straight. It's kind of fun and a little whimsical, if you will. Whimsical. I'm going to take my take your pick tool, and I'm going to pick off 3 of these yellow adhesive sequins. So we're going to place one right there. We're going to place one on that side of the lantern, and then we're going to place one up here in the trees. Kind of gives it a nice fun life-like shimmer to it. And then we're going to place another one down there, and then this one I'm going to place over in the tree over here. I'm going to apologize now. The girls are not down for a nap, and they were supposed to be playing together quietly, so hopefully they're going to be quiet. Alright, so we're done with our first card. And here we go. And our next card we're going to grab out of here is the trees. So this is the inside. I just love this background. It's so pretty. But we will bring it over, fold it in, and then crease it with our bone folder. Just crease it down so it lays flat. And then we're gonna pop out this piece of the center. Now this piece will come in handy later, so for an alternative card, my customers, you'll understand what I mean. I use it to stamp a tree on, so it's the perfect size for it, and you don't have to use an extra sheet of paper anywhere. So, all right. We are going to take our banner with the tree on it, and we are going to throw on some dimensionals. I'm going to put just 2 for now onto it, and once I put it on, we'll put one on eventually on the tree, but I'm going to secure it first and then show you my little trick to making sure it doesn't overlap onto the background again, because you still want to be able to open your card. So there's that. And then what I do is we'll just flip it over, and you'll see, you'll be able to lift it up kind of and see where it connects mostly with the tree, and you'll put it down. Oop, and we can see it. So I'm actually just going to cut this one in half. This one was a little tricky to place appropriate. That's just getting thrown away. Hold on, we'll do this again. Okay, so we have that one, and we'll just cut it like such, and then we'll stick this one back on there and use it for something else. So I kind of lift it up. Hopefully my head just didn't get in the way there. And then we'll push it on down, and then it doesn't even, you can't tell that we bent it back or anything. I'll even bring it up close to you. See, there you go. That'll help to where it's secured, but it's not overlapping anywhere back here and sticking to the side of the card base. So I'm just gonna crease this from the back so it'll lay down a little bit nicer for us. And we are going to put on our sequins again. So with the take your pick tool, I'll just reposition my putty, and I'm going to take 2 yellow sequins, put one underneath there, and then one kind of up on that mountain ridge, and then I'm going to take 3 of the blue sequins, and we're going to put 2 of them down by the sentiment here. Almost time for this one to move on with this putty, and then we'll pop one on that mountain. And we are now done with our second card. Okay, and our last card is the camper. So I just love all these patterns. I think I feel like I've been saying that about all of them. Like, this is my favorite pattern. Once again, the designers did a really good job at this month's kit. So we'll crease that down, pop out the camper. Again, you have a really decent sized piece for stamping or practicing stamping, whatever you want to do with it, it'll be great. And now for this one, what we're gonna do is we're going to kind of place him right behind the camper here. So when we have him over, there we go, it'll just kind of be like that. And I'm going to use my seal. So use your seal or your glue if you would like. I am just going to put a piece of seal right down this side of the camper, and the tree should cover all of it up. So, there we go. And then we got our tree from behind the camper. And then we're going to attach Let the Adventure Begin onto the card base. So we're going to put like such so it hangs in lower, just a little bit inward from the edge of the camper, and then we'll trim that off. But we'll just use dimensionals for that. And then make sure you bring it in a little bit just so you don't overlap on the edge. It makes cutting it just a little bit difficult to get a nice straight line when you flip it over. Okay, so we'll again move it inward underneath the camper, and we'll secure that in. We'll flip it over and we will cut along that, and then it's nice and even with that end. So now we're going to put on our sequins. Okay, so some of you may not have the take your pick tool, but you may have a scissors hanging around. If you have trouble picking up sequins or anything like that, what I do is I just take my scissors sometimes and just kind of pick it up with the scissors like you would tweezers almost. Just get underneath it. Ooh, and I literally just took off the glue dot for it. So you can pick up the glue dot, and we're going to place this one right here. So there's the glue dot, and then I'm just taking my sequins that I ripped off of it and put it on down. There you go. You can tell I haven't done this in a while with the scissors because normally I get it right away. Like that one. There we go. So, oops, popped off. But don't be afraid to use your scissors as an extra appendage as well. It helps if you got fat fingers, or if you just can't get into the tiny places, or you just trimmed your nails. Some tiny things to pick up are not always easy. We'll put this on top of the camper, and then one more up in the tree right here to make the night sparkle really shine. There we go. So then we are done with all 3 of our cards. Let me clear my area off and I will display them all for you. It was a very quick one today. It's not even 2:30 yet and we got all of them done. So these 3 are the cards that we made in this video. We'll kind of put them like this, and then I will display my alternative cards that I made. Oh, you guys have to see these envelopes. Aren't these the cutest envelopes? They are just so adorable. So they coordinate with it, and they give you a spot to address your envelope if you're mailing it, or if you're writing the name on the front. I just love the patterns of these. So each one of these cards, every card in the box has an envelope to match. So we'll set that under there because these envelopes are just so fun, I think. Personally, I think they're fun. I just love all the colors about it. Here we go. Sorry, I'm gonna take a minute because normally I get my best shot in this last part to where I can put put it for my video. Okay, so my first, actually we're gonna change of mind. We're just gonna put these off to the side, and then I'll redo that once I show you all of my alternatives, just because they deserve their spotlight, I think. So my first alternative card is this one. And then these ones aren't triple layered, obviously, since I cut the lantern off, but it's just a fun alternative to explore the world. The next one, this one, The World Awaits for You. I stamped this one. I stamped the tree and cut it out myself. That one is a little bit more tedious. And then I also hand trimmed the sentiment as well. And then here is my third alternative. I didn't use too many sequins. I mean, you still have a lot left over that you could throw in on alternative cards, but even if you use all of them on all of the cards that are in this packet, you're going to have some sequins left over, which is what one thing I absolutely love when they do is give you leftover embellishments. It helps just makes other cards the potential to be pretty or have that little extra special touch. So if you are a Paper Pumpkin customer of mine, you'll get the tutorial that will have the instructions for these alternatives on there. So we will kind of see how we can display all of these and hopefully get them all on the frame. I will fan out these. If you're interested in subscribing to Paper Pumpkin, I will put the link up as soon as I am done here to subscribe. It is $22 a month, and you can cancel at any time. It's just a fun little projects to do. It's beginner stamper, avid stamper, been stamping forever. It's just nice when you don't really have to think about a project and you can just have it all ready for you to just stamp and do instead of creating things from scratch. And then definitely if you're new at stamping, it builds your confidence in just the stamping portion, and then as you slowly build that confidence, you'll be making cards just from scratch on your own. It'll be great. But it really is the first and mighty stepping stone to card making. All right, thank you everybody for joining me today. If you are catching this on the replay on my Facebook page, you have until Friday at noon is when I will do the drawing for these cards. One winner will get all 3 cards, and to get into the drawing for the cards, like the video, comment on the video, share the video. If you share the video, just comment that you shared it so I know who you are. Facebook doesn't tell me unless we're personal friends on who shared the video. All right, thank you so much, and happy crafting, everyone.